Number 1. The Fatal Flaw. The Sith are basically that friend who sabotages every relationship they're in and then wonders why they're always alone. Except instead of ruining dinner dates, they're ruining galactic domination plans with their toxic personality traits. Every single time throughout Star Wars history when the Sith get close to winning, they spectacularly implode like a Death Star reactor core. And here's the kicker. It's not because the Jedi are just that good. It's because the dark side of the Force is fundamentally self-destructive. Picture the dark side as the galaxy's worst business model. Sure, it promises quick returns on your investment, unlimited power, force lightning, the ability to choke people from across the room. But the fine print? Total physical decay, paranoid delusions, and an irresistible urge to murder everyone who helped you succeed. The ancient Sith Empire, which existed roughly 1,000 years before the Phantom Menace, had everything going for them. Massive armies, entire star systems under their control, and enough firepower to make the Death Star look like a firework. But what happened? They spent more time assassinating each other than fighting the Jedi. The Sith on Moraband didn't lose because they were outnumbered or outgunned. They lost because every Sith Lord was simultaneously plotting against every other Sith Lord. It's organizational dysfunction on a galactic scale. They literally cannot stop themselves from destroying their own success. The dark side feeds on negative emotions: anger, fear, hatred. And guess what those emotions make you terrible at? Teamwork, long-term planning, and basically everything you need to run a successful evil empire. Ready to dive deeper into Star Wars lore? Hit that hype button to boost this video and help more fans discover why the dark side always loses. Every hype brings balance to the YouTube force. Number 2. Darth Bane's Trap. So along comes Darth Bane with what he thinks is a genius solution. After watching the Sith Brotherhood tear itself apart like rabid Nexu fighting over scraps, Bane decides the problem is too many Sith. His revolutionary idea? The rule of 2. Only 2 Sith can exist at any time. One to embody power, one to crave it. No more armies of backstabbing Dark Lords. No more committees of evil where everyone's plotting to kill the chairman. Just streamlined, efficient evil passed down through the generations, like the universe's most cursed inheritance. Bane established this rule about 1,000 years before the Phantom Menace, operating from the shadows while the Jedi thought they'd won. His ghost even shows up in the Clone Wars Season 6 on Moraband, where Mark Hamill voices him trying to scare Yoda. The rule of 2 was supposed to concentrate the Sith's power while eliminating the chaotic infighting that destroyed them. Each apprentice would grow stronger than their master, kill them when ready, and take their own apprentice. Murder-based quality control. What could possibly go wrong? Everything, as it turns out. The rule of 2 assumes Sith Lords will follow rules, which is like expecting sharks to become vegetarians. Palpatine had Darth Maul as an apprentice while still serving Darth Plagueis. Count Dooku trained Asajj Ventress behind Palpatine's back. Maul survived being literally cut in half and took his brother Savage Opress as an apprentice. The rule of 2 became more like the rule of 2-ish, maybe 3, 4 if nobody's counting. Bane's elegant solution just created a new flavor of the same old problem. Sith gonna Sith, regardless of the rules. Number 3. Power's corrosive nature. Using the dark side is like making a deal with the galaxy's worst loan shark. Sure, you get immediate power, but the interest rate is your soul, your sanity, and eventually your ability to not look like a walking corpse. Every dark side user in Star Wars canon goes through the same transformation: yellow eyes, pale skin, and that distinctive "I've been awake for 3 weeks straight, drinking nothing but hatred" aesthetic. But that's just the cosmetic damage. The real horror show happens inside. Watch Anakin's transformation in Revenge of the Sith. This is a guy who just wanted to save his pregnant wife from dying. Reasonable goal, right? But within literally minutes of pledging himself to the dark side, he's murdering younglings in the Jedi Temple. That's not character development. That's the dark side speedrunning someone's descent into pure evil. It doesn't just give you power. It rewires your brain until genocide seems like a rational Tuesday afternoon activity. Count Dooku's fall, shown in Tales of the Jedi, is equally tragic. Here's a former Jedi Master who saw real problems, Corruption in the Senate, the Jedi Order's complacency, and wanted to fix them. Noble intentions, legitimate grievances. But the second he embraces the dark side to achieve these goals, he becomes everything he fought against. By the time we see him in Attack of the Clones, he's orchestrating wars that kill millions. Even Palpatine, the dark side's greatest success story, ends up a withered husk by the rise of Skywalker. Decades of dark side use have left him as basically a reanimated corpse puppeteering himself through Sith sorcery, hiding on Exegol because he's too monstrous for civilized space. Number 4. Betrayal's inevitable cycle. If the Sith had a company motto, it would be backstabbing. It's not just encouraged, it's mandatory. The entire Sith philosophy is built on betrayal. The apprentice is supposed to betray the master. The master knows this and plans to betray the apprentice first. Everyone's betraying everyone while pretending they're not about to betray everyone. It's exhausting just thinking about it, and they live it 24/7. Palpatine is the undisputed champion of Sith backstabbing. He tells Anakin he murdered Darth Plagueis in his sleep, and he's bragging about it. He orchestrates the entire Clone Wars while playing both sides. Gets the Jedi to trust him as Supreme Chancellor while secretly being their greatest enemy. Orders Anakin to behead Count Dooku, his own apprentice. Discards Darth Maul like yesterday's garbage. And eventually tries to replace Vader with Luke. His entire career is just a montage of betrayal set to the Imperial March. Meanwhile, every apprentice is running the same playbook. Dooku recruits Ventress, trains Dark Jedi on the side, and builds his own power base. Maul creates a criminal empire and takes over Mandalore. Vader spends 2 decades planning to overthrow Palpatine, literally telling Luke they can rule the galaxy as father and son. The result? Nobody can accomplish anything meaningful because they're all too busy watching their backs. Imagine trying to conquer the galaxy when your biggest threat isn't the enemy. It's your business partner actively planning your murder. That's every Sith relationship ever. Number 5. Ego destroys everything. The dark side doesn't just corrupt you. It convinces you that you're the greatest thing since sliced bread, except the bread is made of pure awesome and everyone else is toast. Every Sith Lord suffers from terminal main character syndrome, genuinely believing they're the prophesied ultimate Sith who will finally break the cycle. Spoiler alert, they never are. Take Palpatine's ego in Return of the Jedi. This man successfully played the long game for decades, manipulated an entire galaxy, and won. He's emperor of everything. So what does he do? He personally oversees the trap at Endor, standing on a Death Star with an exposed reactor shaft, taunting Luke Skywalker while Darth Vader, who he knows wants to kill him, stands right there. He literally tells the rebels his actual location and plans because he cannot resist the opportunity to gloat. That's not strategy. That's ego-driven stupidity on an astronomical scale. Vader's no better. Even as a quadruple amputee in a life support suit, he thinks he's invincible. In the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, he lets Obi-Wan escape just to prolong his revenge fantasy. Throughout the original trilogy, he keeps personally entering combat situations that a smart leader would delegate. Why? Because his ego won't let him admit he's not the unstoppable force he used to be. Count Dooku perfectly embodies this tragic flaw. Genuinely skilled, legitimately powerful, but the dark side inflates his self-assessment beyond reality. He fights Anakin and Obi-Wan simultaneously while trash-talking them. Takes on Yoda, his former master who's been practicing for 900 years, and seems genuinely surprised when he loses. His ego blinds him right up until Palpatine orders his execution. Number 6. Isolation breeds weakness. The Jedi Order is basically a combination: university, library, and support group with lightsabers. Thousands of members collaborating, teaching, learning, and working toward shared goals. The Sith, 2 people who hate each other stuck in the galaxy's most toxic mentorship program. It's like comparing Harvard to a murder cult that can only have 2 members, and one of them has to kill the other to graduate. Before Order 66, the Jedi Temple on Coruscant was this massive institution where Jedi could specialize in diplomacy, combat, healing, or research. They had archives, medical facilities, training grounds, and meditation gardens. When a Jedi had a problem, they had an entire order to help solve it. When a Sith has a problem, their apprentice is probably causing it while their master is planning to make it worse. The Sith literally cannot maintain institutions because they keep murdering everyone involved. The ancient academies on Moraband? Ruins, because surprise, surprise, when your graduation ceremony involves killing your teachers, eventually you run out of teachers. They can't keep libraries because they destroy knowledge that might help rivals. Can't have allies because allies might betray you. Can't even have casual acquaintances without wondering if they're secretly plotting your demise. This isolation cripples them strategically. Palpatine needs an army, has to create an elaborate conspiracy involving clone templates, deleted star systems, and fake wars. The Jedi need backup? They make a phone call. The entire galactic empire, Palpatine's life's work, instantly fractures after his death because it was held together by fear alone. No loyalty, no shared vision, just terror. Remove the source of terror, and the whole thing collapses faster than Alderaan's planetary defense. Number 7. The Jedi always return. The Sith's biggest frustration has to be that no matter how thoroughly they win, the Force basically hits the reset button and spawns new Jedi like some cosmic respawn system. They spend centuries plotting, execute the perfect plan, wipe out their enemies, and then boom. Random farm boy with Force powers shows up to ruin everything. It's like the universe has a built-in anti-Sith failsafe, and it's incredibly annoying if you're trying to establish eternal darkness. Order 66 was Palpatine's masterpiece. Years of preparation, perfectly positioned clone troopers, simultaneous execution across the galaxy. The Jedi Temple, burns, masters and younglings alike are slaughtered, survivors are hunted to extinction. The Sith win so completely that Jedi becomes a myth parents tell their children. Victory is absolute, total, and final. Enter Luke Skywalker, a kid from Tatooine who didn't even know the Force existed until he was 19. No formal training, no ancient wisdom, just pure Force potential and a desire to help his friends. Within 3 years, this nobody farm boy becomes powerful enough to redeem Darth Vader and defeat the Emperor. The Force literally manifested the exact hero needed to restore balance, because that's what it does. Every single time. But it's not just Luke. Rey awakens to the Force with zero Sith influence. Ezra Bridger starts having Jedi visions spontaneously. Grogu survives the Purge and finds Din Djarin. The light side spreads naturally, like hope is literally contagious. Meanwhile, creating a Sith requires corruption, manipulation, and usually massive childhood trauma. The Force itself is biased toward the light, which must be incredibly frustrating when you're Team Darkness trying to achieve permanent victory. Number 8. Victory's hidden price. Here's the ultimate cosmic joke about the Sith. Achieving their goals would literally destroy them. They want unlimited power, but power over what? Empty space? They want immortality, but for what purpose? Floating around as an angry Force ghost forever? The Sith philosophy requires opposition to exist. Without Jedi to hate, without innocence to oppress, without a republic to overthrow, they're just angry people with lightsabers and nothing to do. Palpatine actually won. Think about that. He destroyed the Jedi, overthrew the Republic, ruled the galaxy, and discovered dark secrets of immortality. Total Sith victory achieved. And what happened? He became so paranoid, he created the exact conditions for his own downfall. The Empire's oppression created the rebellion. His cruelty created heroes. His fear of losing power guaranteed he would lose it. The dark side requires conflict, so even in absolute victory, it manufactures its own defeat. The Rule of Two reveals this paradox perfectly. Imagine it actually worked as intended. Eventually, you'd have one ultimate Sith Lord who killed their master and has no equal. Now what? They rule alone forever? They can't take an apprentice because that apprentice will eventually kill them. Can't not take an apprentice because then the Sith die with them. It's an impossible situation that can only end in extinction or eternal stagnation. The dark side promises freedom but delivers slavery. Power, but brings paranoia. Immortality, but makes existence torture. Sith Lords become addicted to darkness, needing increasingly extreme acts for the same rush. They're cosmic vampires who've destroyed everything that makes existence worthwhile. That's why the Sith always lose, because their victory is literally their defeat. They're playing a game where winning means losing everything worth winning for. Want more Star Wars deep dives explaining the galaxy's greatest mysteries? Show your support with a hype button. Help this channel bring balance to the Force and unlock more epic content. Together we can make the YouTube algorithm our ally.